what's good, people? We are here with our resident fight guru, none other than Rome. How you
Peace,
doing, brother?
peace, God.
My man. Welcome to the show. Long-time supporter. Definitely a long-time misfit in yourself, in your own rights. We appreciate you for joining us this week.
Already.
All right, so we got a good card. We got a good UFC pay-per-view coming up. That's why we wanted to bring you to the table, man. We got Israel Adesanya facing, I guess you could say his long-time nemesis, Alex Pereira. Obviously, UFC and ESPN is making a real big deal of this fight because Alex is basically the only one to fight him
They
or beat
forcing it
him.
though.
You said what?
They forcing it.
I would definitely agree. They
Okay.
definitely putting a lot of adobo on it. They putting a lot of seasoning on it. But I mean, at the end of the day, he is the only one to beat him in his weight class. You know, outside of him going up to, what was it, light heavyweight?
Yeah.
To fight Jan Blachowicz and got basically just wrestled to the ground and tired out. Nobody's beat him. So this is definitely a huge anticipation.
Big fight.
But before we talk about that one, because there's some other smokers on this freaking card on Saturday, bro. We got Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler. I'll start with tell me your feelings about Dustin Poirier, because a lot of some people either like him or they feel like he's like the good old boy and they don't really fuck with him like that.
I don't see how you cannot like Dustin Poirier, son. He gives a lot to charity. He's a dog. You feel me? Like, as far as like fighting is concerned, but out of the cage, he's just a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he does a lot for charity. If you look at any of his fights after the fact, they talk about like donating. They switch shirts sometimes. You know what I mean? And donate a lot of stuff to charity. I think he made like like orphanage or something. But he has a lot of charities in Louisiana that he's working with. So I don't know how anybody could dislike Dustin Poirier if you just like on the human being level, what they could do not off the court, but out of the ring or out of the cage, so to speak. Now in the ring, it's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dustin Poirier to me is one of my favorite UFC fighters at that weight. You know what I'm saying? I got him and I got Gaethje at 155 that's gonna sit there and come to fight. They don't really be with the wrestling. You know, they came with Poirier, he does have some jiu-jitsu and he has some finishes. I think he has a couple dodge chokes, but he's mostly like with the hands. And when it comes to, like, if you go back and look at the fight between him and Max Holloway, Max Holloway was seen as one of the best boxers in the UFC, even up until last year. I think he fought, I forgot who's the dude he fought at 145, but they were saying that guy was the best boxer at 145, and Max dog walked him. And then if you look at what Poirier did to Max Holloway, it's like Poirier is that dude with the hands, and we see what he did to Conor. Anybody, and we see what he did to Gaethje when they fought. Anybody who really had success recently against Poirier was a wrestler or extreme jiu-jitsu practitioner like Charles Oliveira, who just submitted him.
Yeah, Dude Bronx is wild. And then he got...
But that's the crazy thing, is that it's kind of good that Dude Bronx lost. Because now that opens up a lot of new fights. Because now Islam, for those who don't know, Islam Makhachev just beat Oliveira. So he's now the 155 champ. And all of those people who Oliveira beat now could go up against Islam. So we got potential fights with Gaethje and Poirier and all those dudes on the top of the list at 155.
Yeah, I feel like Dude Bronx definitely had everybody's number too. You know.
Oh, he had everybody's number.
He had everybody's number. Like, even if you hurt him, he know y'all not about to rush me. I'm gonna lay here, get my bearings right,
and
Give
everybody
you
was
a
scared
little
to
kick
jump on him.
here and there. You ain't gonna rush me. I'm gonna give you a little kick, and then you're
Facts.
gonna let me get up, and then we're gonna get right back
You
to
can
it.
get to the hands, and
Yep.
he wasn't slouching with the hands. Um, but back to Poirier. I'm a fan to say that. I'm a fan of Poirier, but I'm also a fan of Michael Chandler, and I think it's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I who it was Michael Chandler's last fight. Who the hell did he super kick face out the ring?
Tony Ferguson,
Tony Ferguson. Yep,
front kick,
and
kicked
front
him.
kicked the
Front
shit
kick.
out of
This
him.
is this is Sparta. Kicked his brains out of his head.
Yo, he kicked the shit out of him. But it was crazy because it wasn't your normal like snap front kick, which most of the time you see is more of a snap kick.
Yeah,
He followed through with that shit and caught him
yeah,
smooth on the fucking
yeah.
chin.
And was ready to follow up, but saw that he put him out.
Yeah, like good sportsmanship, good way of
Yeah.
good self control.
Mhm.
Definitely. I think this fight is I don't know. For me personally, I feel like this fight not gonna make it past the second.
Oh, between them,
Yeah.
think about that. Oh, is it gonna make it past the second? I don't think so. I think yeah. With those two,
yeah.
I don't think the last person. See, it's weird because styles make fights, but I'm thinking of who took Chandler past the second the last time without actually finishing him was Gaethje, and they had that crazy fight. Those
Yeah.
dudes was wilding.
Yep.
Um, yeah, is it gonna? I don't think so. I think you might be on the sign. Over if it's over under 3 rounds, I'm gonna pick under.
Definitely under.
Yeah.
And I'm going Dustin. I'm sure you're probably going Dustin too, since he's one of your favorites.
Yes. I don't like to pick. I don't like to make predictions. I don't like to make predictions. But if I have to, then I'll say Poirier. Yeah.
That's cool. We'll just keep it with not going past the second. I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it there with that one.
Right.
Then we have before the main event, we got Carla Esparza. Fresh off of her Rose Namajunas upset, because it was definitely an upset.
I was upset. I was upset. Rose is my girl. I was upset.
I definitely fuck with Rose, bro. Definitely fuck with Rose. But you know, everybody take a loss. It's all about how you bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
But she's facing Zhang Wei Li. I don't know. I
One
feel
more
like
time?
Zhang.
Say
I
that one
feel
more
like
time.
Zhang. Nah, I said it once, so you ain't gonna give me again. What is it, Wei Li?
Yo, you say it better than me. I say Zhang Wei Li.
Yeah,
Zhang
it
Wei
might
Li.
be Zhang Wei Li.
You know
It
what I mean?
might be that. It might be that. But I don't feel like Zhang deserves a title shot, son. Like Zhang done fought everybody in the tops. Ain't nobody else get a chance to even make their way up.
The problem is that the women's division is very thin. You know what I'm saying? And also, this chick just retired. What? Young jerk chick, the one who had the crazy hematoma on her face when she fought Bailey last time.
Yeah. The wild
Jack chick. Yeah. They call her the Boogie Woman. She just retired. It's not. It's thin. It's like top heavy. So I don't think you would deny that Wei Li is top 2 in that division. Whether you think she deserves a title fight or not, I don't see anybody more deserving of her. She is Rose is 1 and she's 2.
I just feel like she could never beat Rose, so now like this gonna be the only way she get it. Because I definitely feel like she gonna wash Carla.
Yeah, I think she's gonna watch Carla, and I think we're gonna get Rose Wei Li 3.
And it's gonna be bad. I feel like
For who?
For Zhang.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think it's and when we talk about the next fight, I think it's weird those 3 times the charms type fights. They could go either way. You know
Yeah, it could definitely. You know, I mean, obviously, you get enough chances to learn your opponent. At some point, you got to get the better of them. So
exactly. Look what happened to your man Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying?
Hey. See,
He kept giving rematches like it was sweet, and he found out. You know what I'm saying? He found out the hard way, and
you
that's
retired, sir. We don't got to bring him into this. And this is a whole different sport.
All right. Face first. You know what I'm saying? That was rough. It was one of the
Can't
rough
believe this motherfucker.
of all time.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Son, don't talk to me right now. Let me finish. Nah, man, Manny Pacquiao's still one of the best at that weight, so I don't care what
No,
nobody
that's a
says.
fact. That's a fact.
What I want to see is who's the other joint, the other champion, not not the Brazilian joint, the other joint. What's she from? Sweden, Switzerland?
Oh,
The wild one.
yes. The assassin. She is the next division up. She's under oh, why am I blanking on these fighters' names?
Names exactly.
Yeah. Hold on a second. You're talking about it's not Svetlana. Where am I getting that from?
I can't remember her name either, and I'm mad right now. Like I'm pissed.
Nah, I got you. Her name is Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, Shevchenko.
Yeah. And she's one she's in between the division with Rose and the division with Amanda Nunes. And
That's what I need. I need Shevchenko and Rose to go at it because I feel like
they
obviously that
friends.
division is closer.
They friends, yeah. They're not gonna never fight.
Come on, man. It's not like y'all family, man. Y'all need to just make this
Yeah.
happen.
But I think Rose kind of looked at her as like a mentor at one point.
Gotcha.
And like I saw them do mad behind the scenes backstage stuff together, and they like always hugging and rooting each other on. So I don't think they'll ever fight. I think, and plus I think it'll be hard for Rose to get up and weight, and I think it'll be hard for Valentina to go down and weight.
To make the weight if they go
Yeah.
down.
I think Valentina could go up, and I think she did before the fight Amanda Nunes, which was a close fight. So I think that's probably like a more realistic, super fight.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's hard, man, when you start talking about like these people already go down in weight already to make their weight. So now you're talking about go down another weight class. It's hard.
And that's the crazy thing because the women's division, like you said, it's already thin,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's so spread out. Like all of the super talent is at each different weight class. Like they just knew, nah, I don't feel like fighting her more than once. I'm gonna just stay up here or I'm gonna stay down here.
Thanks.
I ain't trying to switch.
Thanks.
I had to fight this motherfucker too many times. But they gotta figure something out, man. Like at this point now, and honestly, women's UFC is probably one of the most entertaining watched women's sporting events out there.
That's a whole fact. That's the only. I mean, I could say maybe soccer for a little while. I might have like watched a few women's soccer matches, but like I'm into women MMA. Not necessarily boxing, but like women's MMA, I'm into it. I don't know if it's because I follow MMA, so it's like I kind of like trickle down. They put them on the cards a lot. It could work to that benefit because like a lot of the other sports, it's not like you're gonna watch NBA game, and before you watch the NBA game, it's like a women's WNBA game. You feel me? And you don't really see that with boxing as much as you used to. I think with boxing, you used to see it like you'll see like a women boxing match, and then you'll see like maybe like one or two fights on the undercard, and then the boxing match. But I don't think you really see that much anymore. And there's not really that many. I mean, aside from Clarissa Shields.
Yep.
I don't really know any other like I'm gonna say not superstar, but like transcendent talents
On that
outside.
level, yeah. Like that you like, oh shit, I gotta watch. Yeah. I agree. I don't think there's anybody on that level either. I do agree with you as well. Like soccer would be the closest thing, but with that, it's always either once a year or I think every 2 years. You're talking about World Cup options and Olympics and
Right.
prelims and stuff.
Right.
So it's not around enough for it to actually be impactful on, your everyday sports event watching. And with this, it's like you really see what these women bring to the table and they be really going in.
Facts. Like it's not normal. I'm like, if you say, yo, who's your favorite women's soccer player? I can't tell you that. If you say who's your favorite woman WNBA player, honestly, I have no idea. I can't name you one WNBA. I don't watch it. But I could tell you my favorite MMA woman woman fighter. Like I said, Rose, and that comes from just watching like a whole UFC card,
Yeah.
and that lends to like creating fans. Because even if I wanted to go and watch today, like, oh, I want to watch Israel Adesanya, that's my favorite fighter, and I'm pressed and I'm hyped, and I got my popcorn and I got my beer, and we having fight night, and we all watch, and then the fight before that is two women, literally two women fighting. It's like you're gonna watch that too. And you're gonna remember the name, so it does help.
For me, what made it prevalent for me was watching different cards and literally the women's fight being the most entertaining fight of the night.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And any given fight night, that could happen, and it's like, oh
I
shit.
remember the last time that happened. The last time that happened for me was the last UFC before they locked everything down for COVID. When it was Joanna, I think is your young. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but it was Joanna versus Whaley, and they was going at it, and they had literally the best fight of the night. It was probably the best UFC fight I ever saw.
And it's crazy because that could be with any of them. And granted, any fight could be a spectacular fight. One wrong punch, one wrong kick, and it's over.
Hmm.
Ask Kamaru Usman. One move the wrong way,
Is he
and then
wake? Is he wake? Can I ask him anything? Is he wake? Did he wake up?
shit. I hope so. Yo, he ain't been on nothing since then. Like,
Nah, I ain't gonna
talk
do that
about
to him.
going
I
to
ain't gonna
the
do that to him.
dungeon.
When he first like he handled it well. He made the rounds. I think he won a Joe Rogan right after that.
He did? Okay, okay.
And he was showing his face and giving praise to Leon Edwards. And I think as a champion, that's what you should do. I don't think you should just you know disappear, running out, especially if you was talking shit. If you was talking shit, give them same praises. Like if you that dude and you don't think nobody gonna beat you, if somebody does beat you, then you
Had that
take your
same
hat off.
energy. Yep.
Yeah, take your hat off. Yo, he beaten.
Now I definitely think on this rematch, whenever they
Oh,
let us know that's happening,
yeah,
he is gonna wash Leon.
yeah. He gonna wash him, but he's gonna wash him the way that he's been. He's not. I feel like in his later fights, he was really on his
Head hunting,
striking.
knockout striking
Yeah,
shit.
he's not a
Hmm.
striker. You know what I'm saying? The reason his striking was so effective is because everyone was afraid of the wrestling. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And when you have to sprawl and keep your hands down to defend takedowns, because you think this dude once he take you down, that's the thing. Once he take you down or pin you up against the fence, there's nothing you can do.
The
So
wash. Yep.
if you have to worry about that, it's it's going to be a problem if you yourself are a striker because you're keeping your hands lower and you're looking for a sprawl. Um, so I think he started to think his hands was just like that, you know. And look, he was getting better. He's working with Trevor Whitman, that's Justin Gaethje's trainer, and Rose's trainer.
Yep.
And he got caught. I think when they fight again, he's gonna stick to the game plan, which is wrestling. That's his bread and butter. And he's gonna get the W. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if he kicks his ass, if he knocks him out, I think he's more worried about getting a win back. And there's nothing Leon could do if he just decides. If Kamaru decides, I want to take you down, there's nothing anybody in that division could do,
At
honestly.
all, bro. At all. None
So
of
it's
them.
just a
That's what
matter
made it.
of is his pride gonna make him think, do I want to stand in front of this dude and show, yeah, I could strike. Like Leon Edwards is a great kickboxer. Um, but you're a great wrestler, and if it's wrestling versus kickboxing in MMA, wrestling is going to beat striking all the time.
Yep.
Any grappling is going to be striking if you allow the
First
person.
two first two rounds of grappling, you dead. Your punches ain't got that much pop
Facts.
in it no more.
Facts. You tired now? Tired? It's hot, boss.
Word. You see him
Hmm.
start doing this,
Yep.
trying to stretch the
Start, start looking at the clock. How much more time we got in this round? Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. And you could definitely see it. That whole fight, he had Leon demoralized, bro. Like it was
Facts.
Leon was like it looked like the towel needed to be thrown in, and then it
Facts.
was like
It
that's the
was a
one thing I
real.
didn't like.
It was
He
a
got
rocket
that
move.
kickoff, and Leon was like, like I knew what I told you. We was like, what?
Yo,
You
but
just was. You was
did
in
you
the
see the
corner.
but did you see the footage that they was actually training that kick? They
So it was
trained
for the setup,
for the setup. For the setup, they was training that.
the
Now,
feint,
what?
and the kick
Yeah,
behind it. I mean, it
that was
makes sense.
yeah.
But again, that goes to, Kamaru being very cocky.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Thought he
he
had it in
got
the
into
bag.
the shit talking shit with Jorge Masvidal, and that's what sparked it. Granted, like you said, he worked on his striking very much. Like he improved drastically. But you gotta go back to the well. You gotta go back to the bread and butter.
That's a
Stop
fact.
trying to be
Get
entertaining.
the dub.
Your fights are boring, bro. Be boring.
Fact. Fact. Do them foot stomps.
What
Dude got you to
exactly?
stomp on them toes. You know what I'm saying? Stomp
Word,
them
pushing that
toes.
motherfucker up against the cage with his hands like this, and he
Mm-hmm.
can't move, and
Elbow
he's stuck.
strikes.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
mad shoulder shit.
Shoulders. Yup.
Motherfucker.
Yup. Those is points and they add
Yep,
up. That's a fact.
exactly. I definitely see it. I definitely see it not making it to decision though, and being stoppage, either submission or just
Mm.
ground and pound, and they just gonna be
Mm.
like, "Fuck it, it's over."
Mm. I can see ground and pound. I don't know when is the last time Usman got a submission.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I think all his shit has been ground and pound,
Yeah.
elbows, and
I think he might have got like an anaconda choke or something like that early in his career, but I think it's mostly like ground
just
and pound.
outworking you on
Yeah.
ground and pound.
For
Yeah.
decisions, yeah.
All right, and now we have come to the main event.
Mm-hmm.
We got 6'4", 183 pounds, 80-inch reach, switch stance,
Mm-hmm.
Israel Adesanya,
Mm-hmm.
the champion, against 6'4", 184, 79-inch reach with an orthodox stance, Alex Pereira. Now, here's where it's interesting. Israel Adesanya has not lost a professional fight in the UFC, with the exception of going up in weight to face Jan Blachowicz, which everybody could tell off break. You was biting off more than you could chew. You should have stayed your ass down to middleweight, because that was a grown man you was fighting, and that shit you was doing wasn't working. He grabbed that motherfucker and just threw him
Right.
on the ground and just held him and just fucked him up while on the ground. So he hasn't lost a fight in his weight class. Now, going back before UFC, this is the man that has beat Israel Adesanya not once, but twice. And for me, because I watched the fights, I'd like to say he only beat him once. Because that decision, I didn't think Alex won that decision, personally watching it. How did you feel about it?
Okay, so first, I want to put a caveat on what you said about Israel not losing in that division. This is true, right? But for those who don't know, in the UFC, this isn't like a boxing division where it's like you fight at 150 and then you go up a weight to 154. Israel Adesanya fights at 185. He went up to 205 pounds. He went up 20 pounds and got his first loss. So let's let that's what I really want. For those who don't know, and they may think he went up in weight, so he lost. No, he went up 20 pounds in weight. And not again, what I said earlier, when these people who are fighting at 205, they're cutting weight to get to 205. So when they on fight night, these dudes be blown back up to 215, 220, sometimes 225. And Israel came into that fight underweight. I think he came into that fight at like 198 or something, or
I was
200.
going to say, he didn't even make 200.
Yeah,
His walk-around weight ain't 200.
Yeah, so he didn't even make 200 pounds, and he fought somebody that was probably that night maybe 20, 25 pounds heavier than him, and it was 20 pounds above the weight that he normally fights at. So I wanted to just, for the people who don't know. Now, with the first fight, it was a decision. It was a close decision. It could have went either way. I am on the same side as you. I think that Israel won that fight. Israel thought that he won that fight. So, which is crazy for the people who don't know that they fought twice. On paper, it would seem like, okay, they fought twice. He beat him twice. he's going to beat him again, right? But if you watch and add context to this, the first fight was a very close fight that could have went either way. The second fight, Israel was beating the dog shit out of him.
Fucking him up.
He was beating the shit out of him. He was beating him. I'm not going to say he hit him with a lucky punch. I don't believe in lucky punches, but he hit him with a haymaker out of nowhere. Israel was like in a point where he was pressing the issue. He thought he
Mm-hmm.
was going to go for the knockout. He's going crazy, laxing on defense a little bit, and Alex came with a haymaker and put Izzy out. Now, again, on paper, it looked like, okay, he beat him the first time, knocked him out the second time. This shit should be easy. But if you watch the fights, I think that Izzy probably has his number. But Alex does have knockout power where he could touch you and put you out. So it's up in the air. Who the hell really knows? I think if you ask me, kickboxing, who's a more skilled kickboxer, I would say Israel Adesanya is clearly a better kickboxer than Pereira, even though he lost to him twice. I think if you go skill and you look at all of their fights, he's a better fighter. The problem, though, is that in Israel's recent fights, he's become more of a mixed martial artist, which means he's worried more about wrestling. If you're a kickboxer and you come into the MMA rules, you always people who do grappling always try to take you down and hold you down, wrestle you, elbow you, knee you, punch you, and get you out or submit you while you're on the ground. Because if we standing up, you probably have the benefit. You're striking, you're a striker. You're coming from a striking background. So that's what they would do to Israel in all of his earlier fights. They would try to like wrestle him. So as he gained more experience, he would know what to look out for as far as wrestling. He would know what to look out for as far as jujitsu, as far as like a lot of stuff. So he became a more complete mixed martial artist. But in doing that, he became less sharp with his kickboxing. I don't know if you agree, but if you look at the second fight between him and Robert Whitaker, whereas the first fight, he dominated him. In the second fight, it was a closer fight, a much closer fight. And a lot of Israel's fights recently the striking has been closer than I would have thought, coming from someone with such a striking background.
So I definitely agree that it's taken a hit and a shot. For me, I feel like I could definitely see your point of view and where that side of it's coming from. For me, I looked at it as more so guys are looking for that from him now. You know what I mean? Like they're expecting the
But,
striking, they're expecting the stand-up game, and they're defending for that in particular. For me, I'd like to see him expand on his offensive attack of being able to do more. So adding, some different aspects to his game. But I feel like defense wise, he's still the best in that division. Like as far as defense wise of being able to not get taken down as well as avoiding, the punches and the strikes.
I could agree. I just with this fight, I think we're gonna have a kickboxing match, straight up kickboxing, and I think for Alex, and this is kind of like a problem. I don't think he deserves a title shot. I'm gonna say that off the rip. He's fought only one person in the top 10, which is Sean Strickland, who's only ranked 7. He's had 3 fights in the UFC. He hasn't even been in the UFC for a year yet. If you look at other champions, like you have dudes look at Islam Makhachev.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He beat almost everybody. Look at how long Khabib had to go before he got a title shot. And
Motherfuckers was scared of them.
yeah, but it's like, I guess you could look at it like, all right, Israel's a true champion. He's giving the people what they want to see, regardless if this dude is deserving of it. I don't think he's deserving of it. Like, again, he's only had 3 fights in the UFC. He's 6-1. I've never heard of somebody 6-1 3 fights in the UFC getting a title shot.
Getting a title shot already.
The only reason he's getting a title shot is because of the history. And I think that even if he wins, right? And we spoke about, if those three, you fight somebody enough times, you may get the better of them. So even if I think that Israel's a better fighter than this dude's faced him twice, and he's doing better each time, right? Even though you could say in the second fight he was losing, he still won the fight and he knocked him out. So that dude's gonna have confidence. He's gonna go in there. So let's say he wins. He hasn't fought anybody who's like a jujitsu practitioner. He hasn't fought anybody who's like a crazy wrestler. And there's a bunch up there. He hasn't even fought anybody who really bangs like that. He could have fought Robert Whitaker. He could have fought Paulo Costa. He could have fought what's the other dude, the Italian dude who Israel fought. He could have fought Jared Cannonier. There's a bunch of dudes who Israel has already fought that could have been a gatekeeper. Like, all right, fight somebody in the top 5 at least.
You ain't there yet. Word, yep.
Yeah. And it's like, all right, even if you don't want to fight somebody who bangs, fight a wrestler. Israel went through the gauntlet before he got his title fight. He fought wrestlers. He fought black belts in jiu-jitsu.
You're talking about Marvin Vettori.
Vettori, yes, Vettori.
Yeah.
He's the other dude who's like up there, who he's gotten title shot, and he's like, they're all in limbo, right? Where it's like they can't be Izzy, but they all fighting each other now. So you got Cannonier fighting Whitaker fighting Vettori fighting Cannonier. Like, it's all gonna be, they all fighting amongst each other to see who's gonna be able to fight them the second and third time, because none of them could beat them. But they should have let, I think, Alex fight one of these dudes first to kind of like
definitely agree,
validate him for a title shot.
Somebody, I definitely agree. He should have fought somebody other than
Sean Strickland.
Straight to it, like somebody that made sense. Like, get closer. Like,
Bruh,
right now, Alex is ranked 7th, so he is top 10, but
Alex is 7th. I thought he was ranked 4 now.
They got him at 7 currently on ESPN's MMA tracker.
Okay.
But even still, like, bro, you got to get closer. Like, give me top 3 or something. Don't have me fighting number 7. Like, I definitely I agree with you. Like, he doesn't deserve it.
On UFC's power rankings, they got Israel as 1, Pereira as 4, and the only person who he fought was Sean Strickland, and he's at 7. In the top 10. Yeah, I don't think that that's like
warrants a title fight.
Yeah, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, especially at this level, man. Like, UFC is normally good about giving us the fights that we want to see, and I think that's why they're playing into that money grab of, oh, he's beat him, nobody else can. Can he do it a third time? Type shit. So
any other champion would have said nah. Any other champion would have said no to that fight.
Would have kissed my ass, yeah.
Yeah, you ain't show nothing. You ain't coming in off the street from kickboxing to now I'm putting you in a position to make millions of dollars. Like, you did nothing yet, and I don't like you. I don't know if y'all know what happened when he got knocked out in the second fight. Pereira's son came in the ring and was mocking Israel, laying down next to him. All kind of crazy stuff. Look that up on YouTube. It was crazy.
Talking crazy shit. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like when Conor McGregor was moving up, or who was it? Somebody was moving up, and it was like, oh, this motherfucker not even in this division. Y'all talking about this dude?
That was
he ain't fighting nobody.
Probably Khabib was saying that.
Yeah, he was like, he ain't fighting nobody.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is definitely going to be a good fight. I got Israel winning hands down. I think it's not even going to be close. I'm not going to say knockout. Huh?
I said I'm rooting for him. I don't know. I don't know, man. them 3 fight. Yo, you fight somebody enough, man. Anything could happen. But I'm definitely rooting for Israel.
I definitely think it's going to be a good one, man. But Ron, we appreciate you for jumping on here, man, and gracing us with your presence on the show. Again, long time member. We appreciate you. You my brother. You our brother. And, this is going to be happening more, so I hope you're ready. Stay up on your fight game, baby. Our resident fight guru.
Whenever, let me know.
All right, appreciate you, brother.
All right, peace.